Please go through my phone, tell me what I can and cannot wear. Unpopular opinions of Reddit that will make you wonder what goes through some people's minds. Purchasing items from businesses that you do not agree with makes you a hypocrite. Don't tell me you disagree with Chick-fil-A on their policies, then the next day you buy a sandwich from there. Don't tell me you hate how much Amazon pays their workers, then support them by buying your products through them. It absolutely makes you a hypocrite. You're literally supporting the very thing that you say you hate. Worst of all, you have such an awful moral standing that you can't help but be bothered to find elsewhere to shop. My wife and I sat down for 2 hours one night and listed all the businesses we won't shop from, and at the end of the day we started buying things much more locally and supported friends and made new friends this way. The funniest part is you always hear how much more expensive it is to buy local and from small businesses, but we actually saved money by being more conscious about where we were spending it. Don't be a hypocrite, vote with your dollars. People hold on to bad relationships, platonic or otherwise, for way too long. Disclaimer: this doesn't apply to situations where someone may be afraid for their life or well-being. I can't stand hearing my friends or whoever complain about their partners or their friends or family members, listing truly awful things they've done, lied, cheated, abused, etc., over and over and over again. Or listing multiple instances of all of the above from the same people. Besides my parents, I have never had a toxic relationship, platonic or otherwise, because at the first sign of significant disrespect, I will end that relationship. When I became an adult, I went no contact with my abusive father. Why wouldn't that be the norm? I understand hoping that the other person will change, but does no one have any boundaries? I don't understand why people are so intent on hanging on to these relationships with people who disrespect or abuse them time and time again, regardless of familial status or the length of the relationship. It's baffling and infuriating to witness, and it makes me want to stop associating with these people. I start to view them as helpless and deserving of the abuse because they do nothing to mitigate it. In short, people hang on to bad relationships for way too long. It shouldn't matter if it's your spouse, your mom, or your best friend. If they're being toxic, end the relationship. I hate shows that start an episode with the final scene. Any shows with flash forwards suck and remove suspense. Just show me the series of events in the order they happen. I want to see the journey, not try to guess how things will play out to get to the scene I have already seen. Just don't buy it. Then this has nothing to do with criticizing some obvious poop hole. It's such a stupid and redundant response to say you can just choose not to buy it. I write this with the $70 remake of The Last of Us 1 in mind. It's an obvious cash grab and an extremely lazy one at that. It isn't exactly from the ground up. Writing is done. Music is done. Character design is fully established. Mocap is finished. Voice acting is finished. Level design is finished. Most of the core fundamentals are finished. Oh yeah, and multiplayer is gone, so it's pretty embarrassing that they're remaking what they can, and then putting a $70 price tag on it. You can just choose not to buy it, so what? That doesn't mean it isn't rational to criticize and speak out over some blatantly absurd greed and buttholes. Is it? It's a very common response amongst the gaming community, and a very lazy one at that. Yeah, I won't buy it. And I will continue to criticize. What a paradox. Parking far from the store entrance is better than parking near it. But other than that, I'll take the back row any day. It seems to be ingrained in everyone's mind that the closer you park to the entrance, the better. Here's why I disagree. 1. Parking away from everyone means no door dings. 2. It makes it easier to get in and out of your car, especially when trying to load groceries, get a child in or out, etc. 3. You don't waste time circling the lot 2 to 3 times trying to find the perfect, closest spot. 4. Parking itself is simpler, since you don't have to worry about hitting someone's car when turning in, especially with small parking spaces. 5. When you leave, you can easily pull through the spot in front of you, or pull through when you first park, rather than having to reverse into a crowd of cars while also trying not to hit the car parked next to or behind you. 6. You get a few extra steps in and get to be outside a bit longer, both of which most people desperately need more of. The caveat that I'll acknowledge is if it's miserably hot or cold outside, then sure, parking close might be worth it. But other than that, I'll take the back row any day. Spiders are not pests, they are defenders of the home. Poor spiders get such a bad rap, and for no reason. I live in a basement currently and as such get all kinds of crawly things in here during the warm months, and of all of them, the ones that don't constantly fly into my face and try to explore the inside of my nose include spiders. Not only that, but as the spiders get established, the flies, moths, and other more annoying bugs all get taken care of for you. We should sell capsules full of spiders to deal with fly infestations really. Possessiveness is the most attractive quality a romantic partner can have. I have been in 16 relationships and I have ended more than half of them because the girl I was with was not possessive or controlling over me. It has gotten to the point where it is an absolute requirement in relationships for me. Please go through my phone, tell me what I can and cannot wear, tell me I am not allowed outside, make me have my location on 24/7 and all of that. I get why some people would not like it, but for me it is a huge part of the relationship for two people to be protective and possessive over each other. It is sexually attractive too. It is literally one of the best attributes all around. It is healthy to talk to oneself. There has been an awful lot of hate recently towards talking to oneself. That is to say, speaking to oneself vocally, not just thinking the thoughts. Look, we all have our inhibitions and our fears, we all have difficulties, don't we? Well, then why is it so provocative to speak to oneself? Where are these people getting this idea that this is something weird? It's not weird at all. In many ways, it could even help with communication. Of course, if we are shouting attacks then it is certainly not good to accustom ourselves to this, but if we have a polite discourse with our own self, then it shouldn't be that harmful. Restaurant serving sizes are way too large. In the USA, are there people who actually finish their plate? I just went to Red Robin and looked at the calories. Most dishes are 1,000 plus. That's more than half daily recommended for most. No wonder I can't ever finish my food. I feel so wasteful, but like, how am I supposed to eat all of that in one sitting? Usually, I don't feel bad for some foods that I know I will eat later for leftovers, 2 meals in one. But some foods I know I won't eat as leftovers. They need smaller portion sizes. I probably could eat something off the kids' menu and be fine, but that's not really an option. If this isn't an unpopular opinion, let me know where else I can post it. Developers need to stop building luxury apartment complexes. Frankly, most people don't deserve nor can reasonably afford luxury. I've been searching for housing lately and it's flabbergasting to see how many apartments are advertised as luxury. Like, most of the new development in my area, Southern CT, is advertised the same way, luxury. Newsflash, most people should not be paying for luxury, and don't deserve it at their income levels. The point of luxury is to be for the wealthier population. It is insane how many people I know complain about the cost of living or their general finances, yet live in luxury. This is an unpopular opinion because many people feel that if they can make it work to afford these places, they deserve them, or because YOLO. Yes, I know the cost of housing is up and there is a housing shortage, but that does not mean people should be opting for luxury, when that status should be reserved for a smaller portion of society. For the record, I despise these so-called luxury buildings. I call them IKEA luxury because they're often nice and modern in appearance, but shoddily made of cheap materials. I want to see more ugly people on TV. I want to see ugly people in movies and on TV. I want to see average people too, and some attractive. When you watch a movie and everyone is extremely attractive, it just isn't realistic. And no, taking a model and putting glasses on her doesn't make her the ugly weird character. Making movies with your normal average to ugly people makes movies seem so realistic and deep. And I'm not even talking about when women have their makeup, nails and hair done during an apocalyptic movie. So please, put some ugly people out there. AFK here with a hot take. Hot people put me off of American TV shows, let me explain. There is a show in the UK called The IT Crowd. It is such a funny comedy and follows 3 people who work tech support in the basement of a large company. I cannot put into words how good it is and encourage you to watch it for yourselves. They then tried to make an American version. The problem was that they recast two of the characters with hot American actors. I'm not saying the UK actors were ugly or anything, but watching two hot actors trying to act like socially rejected nerds just made it seem like a pantomime. I would re-watch the UK IT Crowd any day of the week, but wouldn't watch the American pilot if you paid me. The history of abuse you went through as a child gets no more sympathy the moment become abusive yourself. Being abused at a formative time in your life obviously changes your brain and causes major issues throughout someone's life. That being said, I'm so tired of hearing sob stories from people about the graphic details of their abuse as a child after they have made another child their victim. I was abused as a kid and I've met quite a few other people with similar experiences. I have never abused a child, I would never abuse a child, and the other people I know would never hurt a child. I just started going to therapy for the first time in my life last month. Living with untreated abuse into my adulthood put me on the path of addiction and homelessness, but I can proudly say that I have never wanted to or attempted to abuse a child. I feel like we live in this culture now where we are expected to be exceptionally forgiving to everyone in every circumstance if they said they were depressed when they did something horrible. Personally, abuser tears mean nothing to me. I could watch an abuser boo-hoo and cry and writhe around for hours and still be chilling. Being brutally honest is not a positive trait. As the title states, people who say "oh, I'm just brutally honest" with some sort of pride, are just using it as an excuse to be utter douchebags and feel some kind of ego trip about putting others down. Don't deceive people, but learn when white lies benefit someone's development. It's really not that difficult. It's most evident about people who act like that, in the way they often cannot admit to their mistakes, lack self-reflection, and get offended by others' honesty towards them. They will just walk away from others' brutal honesty, because it's too much drama. If you consider yourself brutally honest, develop some of your social skills. It is very rude to clean another person's place. Look, I appreciate that you tried to do a nice thing and help out, but you have no idea what kind of organization I have or what products I use where. You mixed up my bathroom sponge with my cat litter box sponge and let a cutting board I use exclusively for deboning fish into my coffee bar area. Now I have to disinfect things. Also, you put my pots away wrong and I can't find anything. People, please don't touch other people's stuff, even with good intentions. There's never a good reason. Posting here because my friends say I am being ungrateful. Thank you for watching, and please check out the IT Crowd, it is well worth your time to watch. Unless you feel like watching another of my videos, in which case subscribe to be notified of my daily videos.